you've joined us at a critical time in both of our lives, as we're playing City Bomber. No, I'm not going to do genital facts about terrorists. Sorry about that. Right, so yeah, City Bomber. It was a Konami game that came out in 1987. It's a car combat game. Yes, it looks a lot like Spy Hunter, and it plays even more like Spy Hunter. Really, really solid game. Well done, Mark Hendricks, for not only winning last week's challenge, but picking a bloody barnstormer for this one. Really, we should be picking Christmas games, really, for this challenge. But once you've gone past Snow Brothers, like we did last year, there's not a lot of Christmassy games in the arcade. I tell you that. I did look. I was sort of even scratching around snowboarding, but like all the snowboarding games are all going to be in 3D. So we're just going to play games as normal, it looks like. Right, so yeah, as I say, this came out in 1987, car combat game, Konami, single player, did not appear on any home formats. This, for all intents and purposes, this looks like it could have been sort of an Ocean release or a US Gold release on the Spectrum or Commodore 64, but no, it didn't. It is a better version of Spy Hunter. I really like it. So should you. Right, so anyway, RetroTech 120p challenge. If you're wondering what all that wordage is in the title, the wordage is formed from basically there's a load of old duffers get onto Facebook every week, and a wheel will at random have chosen one of our choices. This week, obviously, as I said earlier, was Mark's. And so we all play it, we all play the ROM, and we see how far we can get. We can have as many practice goes as we like, but the first recorded run is our run. Just 2 credits. It's called the 20p challenge because back in the day, 20p would buy you 2 credits. Now, on modern arcade games, it absolutely wouldn't, but you're not going to find them very often in the wild anyway, because all the arcades have shut down. Except things like arcade bars, like in Q64, which is brilliant, and 4 Quarters, which is also brilliant, and there's and Arcanes in Liverpool, which is brilliant, and apparently there's an even better one in Bury, so which I have to go to one day. Right, yeah, so genital facts. As I say, not doing suicide bombers. Could I do suicide bombers? I absolutely could, but am I going to do it? No, because I don't have enough facts about the 70 virgins that the Taliban were going to get to sleep with for flying planes into famous New York landmarks. So they just assumed, by the way, that they would be human virgins. Also, sleeping with virgins wouldn't be brilliant, would it? Because they wouldn't be very experienced. So 70 of them? You have to teach 70 people. Anyway, I'm going a bit off track here. So for genital facts this week, we're going to talk about cars. Now, I have already covered people that have sex with cars. So if you want to, if you're expecting me to talk about people like bumming exhaust pipes and things like that, I'm very sorry. I can't even remember what game it was now. Have a look through my channel if you really want genital facts about cars. And go and find one of the other ones that's got car in it, because it's more than likely in that one. It's not going to be in like Double Dragon, is it? So yes, and it's a very dry statistical look at people who have sex with cars today, I'm afraid. So yes, so the statistics themselves, they come from a study from the University of South Dakota. Which was a series of questions asked to undergraduates, 706 undergraduates to be exact. People who obviously were probably, being university students, having a lot of sex with a lot of different people at the time. Obviously, experience-wise, not so much. So, and obviously, I think this was first done. This survey was done in 2016, so it might be outdated. And those people who were undergraduates back then, however long ago it was, at the time I'm writing 2023, so I don't know, like 6-7 years ago, whatever, they might now have committed cardinal sins in a car park or some such. But yes, we will go from this stats sheet that I have here. So The first fact is, and look at that, where I died. If I'd gone the other side, I'd have gone to the next level. Idiot. Anyway, yeah, so fact number 1. 61% of these undergraduates had fornicated in a car by that point. Which seems about right, but then big students, maybe not all of them had cars. So I think I saw another statistic somewhere that said 83% of people had done it in a car. So yeah, probably as you get older you have a car, and probably people in their elder 20s are probably, mostly if they've got a car, they've probably done something rude in the back of it. Fact number 2, 14% of these undergraduates had actually lost their virginity in a car. So that special moment that they've probably been looking forward to, sort of over in a few minutes, in the back of a Ford Mondeo. Just how they're told, just the romantic stories you get in all the films and all the books. That's how they lost their virginity. Lovely. Fact number 3, 56.9% were committed partners who had done the beast with 2 backs in a car. So usually you'd expect it with something like this, it'd be a Tinder hookup or whatever. I suppose 2016, Tinder was obviously definitely a thing back then. But yeah, it definitely was a thing back then. I was on it back then, so yeah. But I don't, yeah, so strange enough, yeah, it's committed partners who were hooking up rather than strangers meeting in the night. So fact number 4, the most popular place to have sex in the car is, perhaps unsurprisingly, the back seat. Obviously there's several places you can do the beast with 2 backs. You can do it in the front, obviously. You could do it on the hood. You could do it in the boot if you were a victim of some sort of larceny, but let's not go there. Kidnap victims. If you want to get out, don't sleep with your captors. I've gone there. Need to back away from that. 56% said that they would rather have sex in the car, in the wild, so like in forests, in the countryside, rather than in a car park, because you can get found. You don't want that, do you? You don't want to be found. I saw a couple have sex in a car when I was like 15, when I was walking around in the middle of the night. I didn't shake the car or be rude. I let them get on with it. I was with a few other people as well. We were very good boys and we just let them do it. We weren't very good boys because we were 15 and we were out at 2 a.m. wandering the streets of Sevenoaks. But that's another story. But yes, so people prefer to do it in the countryside. No one who was polled had sex in a car in a ship. Kate Winslet, Leonardo DiCaprio, still the only people I'm aware of that have had sex in a car, in a cargo hold of a ship before it sank, killing lots of people. Leonardo DiCaprio probably won't want to reenact that now because Kate Winslet's quite old and, he's a bit creepy and stuff, isn't he, these days? Yeah. So yes, what we've got coming up on the channel. Video games, unsurprisingly. We're in Christmas time. I did a video on March of the Penguins on the DS and the Game Boy Advance. Did pretty well. But I've already lined up the sequel to that, which is based on an Arctic tale, which takes us to the other end of the planet, and polar bears. Polar bears seem to be less popular than penguins because that movie didn't do so well. And then the following week we've got our big Christmas special, which is the Maria Whittaker strip poker game. Yeah, I didn't know that existed either until about 2 months ago. And then we finish off the Christmas season with a Trivial Pursuit, because it's board games. It'll come out on Boxing Day. Seemed to make sense to me. Yeah, I've done another couple of videos that follow that in January, just so I can take December off. So I'm having a nice relaxing one, which I think's fair enough, isn't it? Spending time with the family. Am I? Yeah, a little bit, yeah. So, all good. And I hope all you YouTubers who've made videos, remember the spirit of Christmas is not to make videos on retro games. It is to play them and ignore your family instead. It was a good lesson. And that's the end of my go. So yes, thank you for joining me this week for yet more fun, frivolity and talk about people having sex in cars. There won't be that next week. I don't know what, unless there's another car game that comes up. Anyway, like, subscribe and thanks, bye. Oh, and join in. Ta!